Greetings, fellow athletes. Hope everybody's doing well and in a safe place. Trying to stay insane right now. So I spent probably like the better part of the last 3 to 4 days talking to all of my coaching clients and trying to walk them through this new reality that we're all in. And there's going to be a lot more change coming. So what we're trying to think about is how do we adapt our normal weekly training plan to the current reality? So I like to use this wheel as an analogy. We get the wheel rolling. It's really hard to move when the wheel's rolling. Very similar to our training plans. So our training plans are set into rigorous schedules revolving around work and family and a lot of other obligations. And trying to change those training plans, right, is difficult until we put a stop to things. Once you stop the wheel moving, it's very easy to change. And so that's where we're at right now. We have to stop what we're doing, reassess, and then think about what we're going to engage in and how we're going to move in the future. So for a lot of my athletes, the question has been, okay, do we stay the same? And I think that is something that's difficult for many of us to do. Our programs are interrupted by lack of facilities. Programs are interrupted by changes in work and family schedules. Staying the same is really hard, which is why I've recommended people to put a stop on things. So this week can be used as a transitional week for a lot of us. It's a week for us to think about what is and isn't possible, what's realistic given our environment, and then next week or the week after that, re-engaging. So perhaps this week is a rest week for a lot of us. We really put the brakes on and relax a little bit. Then we just have to think about, well, what do we do? Are we going to do more or are we going to do less? So for a lot of my athletes, doing more is a real reality. They may not have high stress levels right now. They may not have a lot of commitments, so they can put more time into their training. So if you are that kind of a person, what does putting more time mean? So putting more time can be getting out for longer rides, getting out for more frequent rides. If you're a runner, obviously the same thing. Doing more volume. But I'm recommending that they really bring that intensity down. If they're doing multiple interval sessions during the week, it's really about just doing maybe one interval session and making that interval session not that hard. What you really want to avoid if you're going to do some interval training is make sure the intensity is not the top level intensity. Make sure that intensity is brought down a notch. Something that you can repeat right every 5 days and be okay with. You shouldn't be doing an interval session and come back just shattered, right? The goal here is we're looking long term. What we want to do is about maintaining some level of fitness and training right over the coming weeks and maybe over the coming months. There's no racing going on right now for the foreseeable future. Now for others, it may mean doing less. So schedules have changed significantly. There's really no more time to train, or maybe the places that they are going to aren't open right now. So they're having to do training at home and the resources may not be the same at home. So we're going to do less. So what does that mean? That means less frequent training, more off days. It could be lower volume. And that's perfectly acceptable right now. So think of this as maybe you're going into the late fall, early winter time period, where a lot of us that were being very active all through the summer and the early fall needed a little bit of a break. So now's a great time to decompress. Maybe a little detraining happens, which is completely acceptable. But if you want to maintain what you have, if you're going to do less, but you do want to maintain what you have, then doing a regular intensity session, say every 4 days, every 3 to 4 days, and not a long one, maybe you're doing 10, 20 minutes of hard work total, will help kind of keep you where you're at. And then you fill in with 1 or 2 endurance workouts during the week, 45 minutes, an hour and a half if you've got that kind of time. It's going to kind of keep you at baseline. But remember, what are the fundamentals right now? We want to help manage our stress levels. So for all of us, whether you can train more or whether you can train less, manage stress levels. How are you going to manage your stress levels? Maybe you're going to go for walks. Maybe you're going to cook. Maybe you're going to clean and organize. Maybe you get on the phone and you call somebody. Whatever you can do to manage your stress levels should be part of your training schedule, right? Bringing stress levels down will help the training process go smoother. For some of us, a really good hard workout in the middle of the week manages that stress level, but again, bring the top level of intensity, bring that intensity down a little bit. You don't want to have the hardest possible days right now. That for many of us will take us over the top because again, we're looking at many weeks of this situation where there are a lot of question marks. So we're not going to resolve the corona situation overnight. It's a long-term process, and training should be part of that stress management for all of us, whether you're a strength trainer or an endurance trainer. And perhaps it's a good time to think about incorporating some new things into your schedule. So for example, if you're a runner, maybe you get on your bike and you do a short ride around the beach. Conversely, if you're a cyclist, maybe you go for some long walks or you do some hiking, right? So think about potentially adding some new routines to your weekly plan that can create a more creative and engaging environment. And find a coach. Find someone to help you talk through these things. A great value of a coach is not about the X's and the Y's. It's about the Z's, which are the intangibles. It's about having a sounding board, someone to talk to about your concerns and about your successes. And bouncing ideas back and forth is what produces, new plans that are creative and engaging and can help push you in a direction you didn't think was available otherwise. Another thing to do during this time is look at your service course. And what I mean by service course is if you're a cyclist, look at your bikes. What state are they in? Do they need to be worked on? Are you trying to replace some parts, right? Do that kind of stuff now so that when it is time to get outside and the weather hits, full spring here in New England or those races do come, everything is ready and you can just plug and play. So take care of those little things that you've been putting off all winter long. Do them now because now we have some time and local bike shops have some time to do that kind of work. So again, put the brakes on, stop the wheels from turning for a minute, reassess, figure out, are you going to do more or are you going to do less? And then always stress manage because even the best of us need to bring that stress level down right now. So find out the things that will help us in terms of stress management, and then let's start focusing on how we're going to move forward, making training part of your regular routine. So if you have any questions, let us know. Here at TT Endurance Coaches are here to help answer them. Text us, email us, whatever works for you, we're here to answer those questions. So don't forget, be a champion.